All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever retro and real podcast, episode one, The Legend of Saturn9. So, spoiler alert! Oh, no, that's not really a spoiler, is it now? Guys, I am glad to have you all here. We are broadcasting on Twitch, we are broadcasting on TikTok, Kick, and YouTube. And I'm fortunate enough today to be uh, my guest, the host of What Game Wednesday, okay, and a huge Zelda fan, Saturn9. Guys, please welcome Saturn9 to the show. What's
Hi,
up?
everyone. Hi.
So, for those that don't know who you are, and they're clueless, can you clue them in on a little bit about yourself, a small little introduction, a little bio? Give us a little something about Saturn9. Who is Saturn9?
Yeah, I'm Satur9. I am a gamer, and I am also that's just my hobby at night. But I'm an optician during the day. But my true passion, is video games.
Nice. Now, where does the name Saturn9 come from? How did that uh, come about?
So Satur9 is actually a Smashing Pumpkins deep cut. Like it's like a B side of an obscure album that was only released online. And it's called Saturn9. So that's
So a
I just
big Smashing Pumpkins fan.
oh yeah, they're my favorite band.
Nice. All right, so let's not waste any time. Let's get to the important questions first. Okay, let's get to
Okay.
some of the important questions first. And
Okay.
guys, keep score in the chat. We will be taking questions from chat as well, but please keep your questions to the end if you have questions for Saturn9. Okay, we welcome everybody in. And let's have some fun here on our first episode of Retro and Real. So the first question I have to ask: do you like pineapple on pizza?
Um Sometimes it depends on the
Sometimes.
pizza. So I don't specifically like Hawaiian pizza, but I love a barbecue chicken pizza with pineapple, jalapeno, and bacon.
So it can't just be pineapple.
Right. No, just pineapple.
But I mean, you will eat it.
I will eat it. Yeah.
So, guys, if you keep it score, that's yes, pineapple on pizza. 1 point for pineapple on pizza, guys. If you keep it score, okay. Now let's get to the other important question: the toilet paper roll. Do you have it facing
um
forward or to the back? Is it a beard
so
or is it a bullet?
it's a beard.
It's a beard. Good, because we don't
It's a
want it
beard.
facing the wall, guys. So now we know. Okay, pineapple and pizza and beard on the toilet paper. All right.
Yeah.
So now that we got the important questions out of the way, what made you like get into content creation and gaming? What started your journey?
So I joined TikTok and I was just watching videos, and I was watching people do those just trends, use sounds and do trends. And I was like, you know what? I think I could do that. So I started doing a couple trends here and there. Didn't get many views. And then I was scrolling through TikTok one night and I saw somebody live streaming Donkey Kong Country. And I was like, oh, hey, they're playing Donkey Kong Country. Um, and I was like, the more I watch the Donkey Kong Country stream, like because he streamed it a lot. His name is Moonshine Gaming. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I started getting more gaming content. I was like, oh, there's like gamers on here. I can make gaming content. So I made my first ever gaming video, which was the history of Kirby's Dream Land, the original Kirby's Dream Land. And it kind of took off from there.
Okay, nice. So also a big Kirby. I see you're a big Kirby fan.
Yeah.
Wearing some
Big
Kirby
Kirby
gear
fan.
as well.
Yes,
We
the
got
Kirby.
Pokemon in the back.
Yep.
So
Pokemon.
like when did you start gaming? Like when was your earliest memory of gaming?
Um, I was real young, like maybe 5. I had a friend. I would spend time at a lady, she babysat us, the two of us together,
Mm-hmm.
and I would play video games over there. And my aunt, uncle, I would go over to their house and play video games with my cousin. Primarily it was Super Nintendo. and it was the game Super Mario World that really got me into the world of gaming.
Oh wow.
I have the most fondest memories playing that game, and to this day, it's one of my absolute favorite games. And the copy I have is actually the copy that belonged to my aunt and uncle. Um, my mom got in possession of the Super Nintendo and the games that they had, and I treasure it.
That's pretty awesome. Um, and since we talked about Kirby
Mhm.
and stuff, what is your favorite Kirby game,
My favorite Kirby game is Kirby 64: The Crystal Shards.
and why is that?
Um, it's just a fantastic game. I like the power up combination like that they use. You can combine power ups to make different things. And this story is actually really good for being a platformer. The levels are fun and interesting, and it's just a good design.
Nice, nice. Well, we know why we're here, right? We love Zelda, all right,
Yeah,
and we're going to talk about Zelda. So why not? Let's get right into some of the stuff that regarding our wonderful collection that you have that you shared with me and that I'm going to uh, share with some of you guys so everybody can see. And I want you to talk about this picture right here. Okay, in this here, you shared this with me, and I see a lot of Zelda, you know, portraits. I guess posters, and I see some Pokemon stuff. So, tell me a little bit about this picture and some the stuff here. I see Kirby, I see Zelda, I see
yeah,
Pokemon. So,
yeah.
tell,
So
tell me a little bit about that.
the way I set up my collection is like I have a lot of the games together by system, but I also some of my favorite games I have my own shelves of collections for. So it's my Kirby collection and my Pokemon collection. And those pictures you see up top are actually like wooden posters that have been painted. Um
Painted.
yeah, not by any they're, like, made. They weren't, like, painted by anybody I know or anything. I bought them from a game store. But there's a ton of them, and I have almost all of them. I'm only missing a few.
Which ones are you currently missing?
Zelda 2 and, I'm missing Tears or Breath of the Wild. I have Tears of the Kingdom.
Breath of
I'm
the
missing
Wild.
Breath
Okay.
of the Yep.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. And I know. Moving on, I want to show this one too as well. Like you, um, and I want you to tell me about this one here because this is a beautiful Super NES collection. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on here,
Yeah.
and I mean, I see a whole like multiple shelves of Zelda, and one of my favorite games, probably my favorite Zelda game, Link to the Past, on that shelf, and that has its own little shelf. So, can you tell
Yeah.
me, about your Super NES collection? Some of your favorite games in that SNES collection.
Yeah, so I'm currently looking to slowly collecting the entire Super Nintendo library. There's 724 games, and I don't even have 100. But I'm a huge Super Nintendo fan. I have multiple shelves of RPGs. Some of my favorite Super Nintendo games are the Kirby game. It's Kirby Superstar. Link to the Past is my absolute favorite Super Nintendo game. I love that game. And actually, I really love Final Fantasy 3 for the Super Nintendo,
Oh, one of my
which
favorites as well.
oh yeah, which some of you that are watching will probably know it as Final Fantasy 6. Um, but Earthbound is another one that I really love.
Nice. I played her. I have Earthbound. I was lucky to actually win that one. I love RPGs, but Zelda definitely holds a special place in my heart as well.
Yeah.
And this picture here, all right, that I'm about to present to you guys, this one here, what is this? Please tell me what this is, okay, guys. So I want to know what this is. Okay, it's Lego. That's Lego, correct?
Yes, it's the Legend of Zelda Lego Deku Tree set. So you can do it as either the Breath of the Wild Deku Tree or the Ocarina of Time Deku Tree. There's two different builds you can do. And
Interesting.
me being the Ocarina of Time fan that I am, I chose the Ocarina of Time tree.
So is that you? Do you have to pick that out before you purchase it, or do you
Nope,
can do both,
you can do
regardless?
both.
So
Yep.
in so you're telling me when I purchase this, if I wanted to purchase this, I would be able to create whatever version I want.
Yes. Yep. And
Interesting.
then
So if
later
I get
on,
bored
if
of
you,
seeing this thing, I could just switch it around and
yep.
start fresh. That's really interesting. Can I ask what does something like this cost? Do you remember?
Yeah, $300.
300 bucks for a Lego set?
Yeah. It might have been 200. I don't know. My husband would know. He got it for me for Christmas.
You know what? Worth every penny. Every
It
penny.
was.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about gaming prices and stuff. I mean, if I don't talk about this, I'm gonna get roasted by everybody. We got to talk about what we saw this past week with the Switch 2. Okay,
Yeah.
because I know everybody wants to get your thoughts on the Switch 2, and what are your opinions? Did you watch it? What do you think about Nintendo announcing the Switch 2, the games, the prices? What is your overall opinion, and are you going to buy this at launch, or are you going to wait?
So I am going to buy it at launch, but I have mixed feelings about it. I didn't watch the direct because I was at work, but my son did, and he texted me updates. There, I had 55 messages from him by the time we were done. Um, so he was texting me updates. There are some things about it I'm excited about,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some things about it that I'm kind of iffy on. Some of
Right.
the features looked a little vague. I know some of the features they showed off were very laggy and kind of lackluster. Some of the games they announced, I am excited about. The Kirby Air Riders game specifically. I am a big
Right.
Kirby fan, and
Of
Kirby
course.
Air Ride is fun.
Right.
You know,
I wish they would have shown a little bit more about that.
yeah,
I personally like the Donkey Kong. I thought the Donkey Kong. We finally got a
yeah, that
Donkey
looks
Kong
good
game.
too. Yep.
But what about we hear a lot of misinformation lately, especially in social media about pricing, and the rumors have been where games are going to be 80, $90, which we discussed this, and I made multiple videos and we discussed it previously. What do you think about the pricing, or changes? The pricing is going up or down? Do you feel that you know it's justified in today's market, or do you think it's a little too expensive? What are your thoughts about the pricing?
Some of the prices, I guess you could justify a higher price point if the content is there, if you're paying 80, $90 for a game, you better get your money's worth out of it. The thing that I don't agree with is re-releasing a game that is 2 years old and selling it for more than the original game cost.
And
And I'm talking, of
we're
course,
talking about the Zelda, of course.
Tears of the Kingdom, yes. And I never even beat that game. I um I'm a diehard Zelda fan.
Mhm.
I
We can see that.
definitely
We can see that.
yeah, I definitely prefer the older style of Zelda games. I loved Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom overwhelmed me so much. I had to put it down after 180 hours
Yeah. Well.
because
Yeah.
it was
I mean, I played it. I beat it, but for the record, okay, I exploited the game. All right, guilty. I'm a guilty cheater, guys. All right, so I exploited the game. I didn't play it fairly, so I understand not beating it yet and stuff like that. But I
yeah,
want to
it was
talk about
rough.
this as well, okay? Because you sent me this picture as well, and I'm kind of curious about this here. Okay, we talked about that, but I want to talk about this game right here. Can you guys see that, chat? Um, Bronchi, why did you pick this up? What made you
So
pick this up, and where did you pick this up?
I picked it up at the Detroit Retro Video Gaming Convention. Um, and I am going for a complete Super Nintendo library. That is a game I found out about a few years ago, and I thought it was the absolute most ridiculous thing in the world. And then I looked up the price and I couldn't believe at the time it was going for $500.
Wow.
And I could not believe it's rare. It's super rare. It's about a dinosaur with asthma and you have to it's about raising asthma awareness. Um
I noticed Super Nintendo has done that. Did you know they have one that fights diabetes? There's a
yes,
guy,
it's actually
yeah. So
made by
it's
the
kind of
same people as
funny.
this game.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I think these games are kind of cool, a little
Yeah.
wacky. Not the best games on the system for sure,
No, it's
but
not a very good game.
pretty cool game and stuff like that.
It's
Now, you know what time it is, right? Do you
what
guys know
time
what
is it?
time it is, guys? You know what time it is, right? All right, because I know what time it is, guys. It's that time. It's that time, guys. It's What Game Wednesday time, guys.
Hey everyone, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. What Game Wednesday? As always, please play along in the comments and let us know if you
What
guys
Game
really want
Wednesday,
to know.
guys?
And other than
We
that,
got to
are you
play
ready to play?
along.
Yep, let's go.
Let's play, guys. Let's play What Game Wednesday. So, I think a lot of people want to know. Okay, and let's welcome that gamer kid. I see him there. What's up, buddy?
Yep. What's
How's it
up?
going? Good.
Good.
All right. So of course we all love What Game Wednesday. All right. We're on what episode now? 90 coming up this Wednesday.
90 is coming up this week. Yep.
Okay. So what made you guys think of this? What was the inspiration behind this? How did you guys come up with this and having that gamer kid be involved in the video? Like, how did you guys come up with this series? Because this is one of the most well-known series, I believe, on TikTok. So if you guys haven't seen
Oh,
it,
thank
you
you.
guys are missing out. It's an amazing series that happens every Wednesday. And let me tell you, like at first, it was just me watching, right? And I would try to guess the game, okay? And now my son's watching and trying to guess the game. I'm like, kiddo, you want to try to guess the game? So now he's trying to guess along with me. So, what made you guys think of this?
Well, so first off, I was when was starting content creation and starting to do like video gaming content, he kind of was showing interest in wanting to get involved, and I was trying to figure out a way I could get him involved without being like a mommy vlogger because I don't love mommy vloggers.
Right.
Um, yeah, so he can tell you a little bit more about the story.
So yeah, please.
So at first it was like a like we played it in our car where she would play the soundtrack of a game and I would try to guess the game off the soundtrack or like the music that she gave. And it started off of that and then it just ended up becoming uh the What Game Wednesday.
Nice, nice. That's cool. Maybe that could be a new series where you guess the soundtracks again, and that could be soundtrack Thursday or soundtrack Friday.
W-
But
Soundtrack Saturday.
so soundtrack Saturday that could work too.
Yeah.
So
And
let me
I've done
ask you guys. Let me ask you guys. What is your favorite episode of What Game Wednesday and why? So that gamer kid, what was your favorite episode?
I don't know. It's gotta be the Hollow Knight one.
The Hollow Knight.
Because Hollow Knight is my favorite game of
Okay.
all time.
Of all time, really? So you answered two
Yes.
questions for me. Okay, that's perfect because that was going to be my next question. What is your favorite? So we got Hollow Knight, and that was his favorite episode. Saturday, what was your favorite episode and why?
Oh man, it's so hard to pick because there were so many of them. I really liked episode 50. Um,
50.
yeah, that we did Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
Um, because for milestone, so 25 I did Pong. That was another one that I loved.
Hmm.
Um, then 50 I did Mario Brothers, but every 10 episodes I try and do a bigger game, and then 25, 50, and 100 I have big things planned.
Plan for that, of course, of course.
Big things planned. Yes. I have
Nice.
a big thing planned for episode 100.
Awesome. I can't wait. I think a lot of us really want to tune in for that. And I'm really like that is one of the things I wait for. You know, like that on Wednesday. That is one of my favorite things. You know, I'm super excited to try to guess the game, and so far I think I guessed most of them. I think I missed one, and um, that gamer kid. Here's a question for you. Okay, what was the hardest game for you to guess? What do you think was the hardest? Like it really stumped you.
I don't know.
I know.
Do you
think it
know?
was
Okay.
Spyro.
Oh yeah, Spiral. That was a good one. He did
Spiral was
not get.
tough. Yeah, yeah, that was a tough
He's
one.
he's only missed 3 games total. I can only remember
That's a
2 of
good
them off the
record.
top of my head.
That's a good record.
Yeah.
3 games
Mike
out of almost 90
Tyson.
games.
Oh yeah. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. He
Okay.
missed, which shocked me because he loves that game.
And I played it
And
not that long ago,
Castlevania Symphony of the Night was the one that really got me that he didn't guess.
which is my second favorite game of all time.
I love that game. You know, I
It-
have the Japanese version of it and the American version because I just
It's
love that game
good.
so much. It has
Yeah.
such a beautiful soundtrack. It's such a great game, and I just want to say thank you for what you guys are doing. Thank you, that gamer kid, for coming on here and spending a little time with us. You know, and answering a couple of questions. I'm gonna finish talking to your mom and find out a little bit more. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for doing What Game Wednesday. We love seeing you. We love seeing, how, if you're going to guess the game. It's like, all right, is he going to guess the game? Is he going to guess the game? And 9 out of 10 times, well, more, because it's a really good
He
record.
does.
You only missed a few, and surprised it to me. Okay, you've gotten some games that I did not get, so that's really impressive. So great
Yeah,
job. You know,
there are
and
some
yeah,
where I start out, I'm like, there's no way he's gonna get this
and
game,
he
and then
got
he
it,
shocks
and he
me,
got it.
and he gets it.
Yeah.
Sometimes he needs the easy clue, but that's why I do the easy clue.
But that's
You
good.
know?
That's good. And it's like and like I said, it's very surprising because I missed a couple too. So, thank you
Yeah.
for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it. And I can't
Yeah.
wait to see the 90th episode, what you guys got in store for What
Yeah,
Game
I'm really
Wednesday.
excited about it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna finish talking to your mom. So thank you for joining
Okay.
us. Appreciate it. Have a
Bye.
good day. Keep gaming.
You too. I will.
All right. So back to talking about our wonderful Zelda. Okay,
Yeah.
and yeah. So let's bring up some of this stuff here because this is really really interesting. This wonderful cake.
Yeah. That was our wedding cake. I got married in 2022.
Okay.
And that was our wedding cake.
So that was your wedding cake. So I'm guessing this was a huge Zelda theme wedding.
Yes, it was both Zelda and Magic the Gathering themed.
Magic the Gathering, right? I
Yes.
remember you mentioning
Yep.
that, and this is great. Do you still have the topper for this? Who made this for you? This is amazing.
I got it off Etsy actually.
Really?
And yes, I still have it. Yep. I still have it.
That
I
is
love it.
that is awesome.
It's a link to the past and it's amazing.
Yes, so that's very curious there that it's linked to the past and not Ocarina of Time, which when you mentioned Ocarina of Time is your favorite game. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
my absolute favorite game ever.
That's awesome. And of
Yeah.
course we got to talk about this wonderful thing here, which take this. So
Yeah, it's dangerous
this
to
is
go alone.
cool.
Take this.
So tell me a little bit about what this is, and I see it says Liz and Ben 8/20/2022 on the box here. So tell me a little
Yep,
bit
our wedding
about
cake.
this. What is this? And because I'm not too sure. I know it's Zelda. Obviously, I can tell it's Zelda, but can you tell me a little bit about this and what this represents?
Yeah, so it was our card box. So people would drop the cards in the top, but it was designed after a treasure chest. So the only thing it doesn't like do the sound when you open it, but it's a treasure chest from Zelda, and it says it's dangerous to go alone. Take this on it,
Right.
and people could drop cards that they brought into it.
Nice. Nice. And I know there's some other cool stuff that I seen And this here really was interesting to me because when I was looking at this, I see Zelda and I see some other stuff here going on. Can you tell me a little bit about what this picture is here and what it represents?
Yeah, so each of our 20 tables, half of them were themed after Ocarina of Time characters, and the other were themed after Magic the Gathering. It's called Ravnica, the Houses of the Guilds of Ravnica. So this is a themed after a Zelda character, and it's Impa from Ocarina of Time. They were all Ocarina of Time characters. And we got these little Navi fairies that actually glow in the dark.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
So
so
these
you
things
you
glow
can
in the
kind of
dark.
see it
That's
in
pretty
there.
cool.
Yeah, you can.
Nice.
And then the lanterns, we put Triforces on them.
That's really cool. And of course, we got to talk about these things here. The silverware, which is absolutely awesome. I mean, engraved with you and Liz and Ben 2020. So these are really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, tell me a little bit about this, and I'm guessing this is the what. So these were what utensils you. What was it? What was on the on the plates for people? Did they have something engraved as well, or
No, they were provided by the venue.
they were
This is
provided by
our
the
cake
venue?
cutter. Yep, that was our cake cutter
All
that
right.
we got to cut and serve the cake.
It's really cool, and of course we got
Well,
to
thank
talk.
you.
Yeah, it's really nice. This is really cool. This is a great souvenir. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And of course we got to, we got to bring up this as well. Oops, sorry guys about that. Okay, we got to show this. Of course, we have to show this little section here because that's what I was talking about. I think this is what the
Oh yeah.
plating I was talking about. Was this it? Some of the the centerpieces.
Um, yeah, so it has the we made flowers out of magic cards.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it has you can see the little Navi fairy and the ring bearer pillow. Um, and then up above it was actually it was a whiskey set that I got for Ben as a wedding gift.
Nice. So it looks like, guys, Zelda is her favorite series. I mean,
Yeah.
had a wedding. We have a whole bunch,
Yeah.
$300 on a Lego thing. Um, and I love Zelda. You love Zelda. I think a lot of us love Zelda, and we appreciate you showing us a lot of your Zelda collection here. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yes,
And
of course.
so, um, in your opinion, I want to ask you, in your opinion, what makes a video game rare? Is it the price, availability, or both?
Um, Mostly the availability. I mean, it can be a little bit of both. I don't think the price necessarily has to do with something being rare because I consider a few of the Kirby games to be rare, and I don't think that they're that expensive.
Right.
Um, and I see games like Little Samson, which is $2,000. I see that literally
All the
everywhere.
time. Yeah, of course.
All the time. Bronchi is both rare and expensive.
Yeah.
Um, it is
Yeah.
probably the rarest game in my collection.
Well, that answers
But
that question as well. As well with
yeah,
yeah. What retro game that a game that has not been redone would you like to see redone?
Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link.
Yeah, we were
That might
talking about
surprise
that. That's
people.
true.
Yeah,
We're talking
it
about
might
that. We would have
surprise
loved to see
people.
1 and 2
Yep, 1
redone.
and 2. Because I think that the potential for that game, I mean, I played it and it's hard. It's rough. It's a rough play. It's not bad. It's not a bad game. It's playable. I think that if they redid some of the problems with it and they remade that game
Hmm.
and gave it some loving care, I think it could be an excellent game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even though I haven't really finished it, but I like the concept of that game. I always have. I didn't care for the game when I played it, but I could see maybe doing it redone. I think it would really take off a lot, really nicely. I agree with that. What video game you feel the first game was better than the sequel?
The first game was better than the sequel. That's hard. That's a really hard question because there's a lot of games where I like the second game better. Um, I think, and this might ruffle some feathers, but I think the first Portal is better than Portal 2.
Okay, okay. I mean,
Oh,
hey, look,
BioShock.
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 Okay,
Yes, the
BioShock. Yeah,
first
that
game is way better than
better
its
than. Yeah, I
sequel.
agree with that. I agree with that. BioShock is definitely a
Yes.
kick-ass game. The first
Yes,
one is
that game
better.
is excellent. I love that game.
Awesome, awesome. Great answer. I like that. What is your and what is your favorite arcade game?
Arcade game, Centipede.
Oh my god, I love fucking Centipede so much. Centipede is one of my favorites as well because I played the hell out of it. I love
I played it a
Centipede.
lot too.
Oh my god, it's like I remember rolling the ball. Like you can't get the games like that where you have to roll the ball
Mm-mm.
and shoot. It's such a great game. So guys, that is the retro gaming portion of the podcast, and now we got to get to the real part. Okay, so I guys, guess what? I heard you got arrested. You getting arrested? Sweet little innocent Saturn9 got arrested for what?
I'm a hardened criminal.
That you spent some hard time in prison. What's going on?
Okay.
So I think
So I'm
everybody wants
sure
to know what happened there. What happened? Why'd you get arrested? What did
okay,
you do?
okay, so it's a great story. Um, so somebody was driving my car and got a parking ticket. And because I was moving out of where they lived, the parking ticket went there, not to me.
Mm-hmm.
So a long time goes by and I get a final notice parking ticket in the mail at
Oh
my
boy.
like current residence. And I do the responsible thing and I go get a money order and I put that in the mail and send it away to the courthouse.
Okay, so
So,
that sounds good.
yeah, fast forward a little while. I get into a kind of minor car accident and I had a headlight out. I get pulled over for that headlight being out. And turns out the courthouse never received the money order. It never made it to the courthouse. It got lost in the mail. I just have really bad luck. So I have a bench warrant out for my arrest because
What?
yeah, I had a bench warrant out for my arrest. So I get pulled over for a headlight and I end up in handcuffs. I'm in my early 20s and Dom was young and he wasn't with me at the time, but I bawled. I cried so hard, and the cop did not care. He was just like, "Get in the back of the car," and he kind of like shoved me in there. And he got a call that somebody, and this is for TikTok, you TikTok people, unalived his spouse and then unalived himself, and he had to let me go.
Moral of the story: make sure you get your headlights fixed, guys. Okay, make sure
Yeah,
you get your
pay pay
headlights
your
fixed.
tickets in person.
Yes. Okay.
Pay your tickets in
Oh
person.
man.
But it's my favorite story to tell people with no context. I got arrested once.
Yeah, that's not great. Um, hey,
I guess
listen. You know, it's a crazy, wonderful story, and I appreciate you sharing that,
yeah, of course.
with us. But a little bit more touching. I want to talk about something recent, the passing of your dad. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I know we discussed a little bit about it, but I don't think a lot of people that are watching and listening. Can you tell me a little bit about that? How that affect you, and did it? Does it? Anything relate that you can think of with gaming with your dad?
So my dad, he didn't like games. He didn't like board games really. He didn't like video games. Every once in a while he'd join in. But we were always pretty close. We did a lot of things together. We watched a lot of movies together. We went and to a food truck festival and um we had a lot of fun and he had just had surgery last year. He had a heart surgery and The next day after this festival, he woke up thinking he had food poisoning, and he ended up, um, it was a massive bleed in the back of his brain. Um, and they did surgery on it, but it was too late.
Wow.
The next day they came in and he was brain dead. And it broke me. It hurt. I, you know, he was always there for me. He was the one I could count on. Like, hey, my car broke down. Can you come help me? Hey, I need to take my cat to the vet, but I have to
Right.
work. Can you help me? Like, you know,
Yeah, I'm sure.
so
I'm sure that that's definitely, I mean, for anyone, and I've experienced it with my wife. Both her parents passing, and it does definitely take a toll. Do you, did gaming help you like during this grieving process at all?
oh oh, yeah, instantly after it happened, while I was taking some time off of work to process what happened and also
Mm-hmm.
deal with being sick on top of it, I went to my comfort game, which is Ocarina of Time,
Right.
and all I could think of was how it just felt like such a blanket of comfort, like a warm hug from an old friend, you know? That game, I swear that game got me through that first week, like, more than anything.
No, no, I
Um,
know you mentioned your dad really wasn't um gaming. He didn't like that. What about your mom? Does your mom play games? Does she like games? So what can you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah, she likes games. I grew up playing video games with her actually. We would play, primarily it was the Nancy Drew mystery games we would play together. I remember one time when I was homesick. It was Christmas break. Everyone was going up to my family's cabin to go snowmobiling, and I was really sick. So of course I stayed behind,
Right.
and I knew that she probably wanted some peace and quiet and a break. But she found this Nancy Drew game and brought it home, and she said, I thought it would be fun if we played it together, because you're sick." And we just had the most wonderful time. And that kind of got me into mystery games.
Oh,
And it's
nice.
one of my most treasured gaming memories, honestly. Like, I just love that memory of sitting there on the computer playing that game with her.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, I heard you could sing. I heard you're classically trained. So someone told me that you were a classically trained singer. So okay. Now everybody's gonna want to hear you sing. Okay,
if if they want to hear me sing.
a little something because I know you were also in the church choir. Okay, so if you were in the
Yep,
church
I was.
choir and singing, we got to hear a little because every let's I see everybody asking, let's go, please sing, please sing. Oh, here we go. So I'm gonna mute myself here, and the stage is yours, and
Okay,
there you go. Go ahead.
I'll just sing one verse of a song, okay? All right. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby.
Holy moly. That is awesome. I love that movie. That song is so
I do
cool.
too. I sing it
That
all the time in the shower.
well, there you go. That is cool. I think everyone here is appreciating that. That is freaking awesome. Um, that's so cool. Can you tell us a little bit about your church choir days? Like, how long were you in the church choir? What did you,
Oh,
what made you want to be in the church choir?
well, so I was taking vocal lessons, and piano lessons, and I was singing in church. I was going to church. I was raised Catholic. And then people around me could hear me sing.
Mm-hmm.
And the choir director pretty much approached me and they're like, "You need to join the choir. You have a great voice." So I joined the church choir. I was in the church choir from about the age of 10 until I was like 19 years old. I sang in church choir.
Oh
And
wow.
I actually in Catholic church they call it a cantor where you lead the people in song. So I was one of their lead singers.
Nice. Nice. I'm guessing how long did you spend in the church choir? You know how
It
many?
was from 10 to 19, so that's 9 years.
9 years. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Um, Something that's not really cool, and again, feel free if there's anything you do not want to discuss about this, but I know you mentioned that you were involved in some domestic violence. Um, can you tell me a little bit about that? Because these two precious little animals, okay, that I need to show here. Um, you got these animals and domestic violence. So I need to know the story. I think everybody wants to know the story since it was brought up to my attention. Can you tell me a little bit about these cats, this domestic violence issue that happened, and how you now?
Yeah, so these are my babies. They are Lily is the black and white one, and Ella, she is the orange and white one. Now they are 13 and 14. They were actually his mom's cats, and she could no longer keep them. And he said, "You know what? We'll take them." And when he left, the cats stayed with me. And I am very thankful because that black and white cat has become kind of like my emotional support animal. Um, but I was with him for around 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it kind of progressed, just from control and shouting to full on like violence.
Did it get
Um,
physical?
yeah, yes.
Um, well, we know you got arrested for something silly. Uh, can I ask, did did he get arrested or yeah or not?
No,
No.
he left pretty much of his own free will.
Okay.
Um, things were dicey for a while, but I haven't heard from him in a long time. So,
So that must have
you
been
know,
really tough on you and your son.
it was, yeah, it
How
was.
can I ask how did he deal with it? Is he was he is he how did he cope with it? And did video games help you with this situation as well?
Yeah, so he coped, about as well as anyone could. He It took him a while to learn, like, hey, once I got with my husband, he was like, hey, this is how a man is supposed to treat a woman, because
Right,
his
right,
his
right.
dad his dad and I are no long haven't been together since he was an infant. So he goes over to his dad's house every other weekend. This was not my domestic violent partner. Um, so he goes to his dad's house every other weekend. But gaming definitely helped me through that. My son and I started playing games together more.
Right.
Um, we used to do these things that, it was Friday night and I would put on a game, we would order pizza or takeout, and I'd make like cookies or hot cocoa or lemonade or popsicles, depending on what time of year it was. And we would play every Friday, we would play a game together. And every Friday he was with me, obviously. And now we still do that every Friday that he's home. The three of us sit down and we play a game together. And it's kind of just given us something to look forward to every week.
So you got what game Wednesday on Wednesdays, and we got something going on Fridays. It seems that gaming it has been a big part in your life and in your family as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I I it's gotten me through some of my darkest times for sure, you
Well,
know.
I can definitely relate with that. It got me through some of my toughest times being bullied as a kid gaming.
Yep, me too.
I mentioned
I,
that on on Coach Marv's. I was a guest on Coach Marv's podcast, and gaming definitely. We hear a lot of negative things in the media about how gaming influences people to do bad things, and it's nice to hear that gaming has helped
Oh
you,
yeah.
myself, and a lot of other people deal with dark times. So
Yeah.
right now I like to ask you a bunch of questions, whatever, and just whatever comes first, okay? Whatever comes
Okay.
first. These are you might know some of these questions, you might have heard guys some of these questions. So just spitball fire questions, rapid fire. What is your favorite word?
Cat.
Cat's your favorite word. Okay,
That was the
okay, you
first
got to
thing that came
explain
to
why
mind.
cat is your favorite word.
'Cause cats are my favorite pets.
Okay, what is your least favorite word?
uh, chickens.
Chickens.
That I
Okay,
don't like that word. I actually really hate that word. Not just chicken, but chickens. I don't like that
chickens.
word. The
Okay,
sound of it, it sounds harsh.
okay,
Makes my skin
okay.
crawl.
That's fair. What turns you on? Like, what gets you excited? Like,
Um, I don't know. Dessert.
dessert. Okay. What's a turn off? What turns you off?
Oh, jerks.
Jerks, people who
Like
are just mean.
rude people, mean people. Like I work in customer service.
what what sound or noise do you love?
Um, the sound of like a bonfire crackling.
Ooh, bonfire crackling.
Hmm.
It's a really nice sound. Yeah, I like that sound myself. It's very relaxing, I think. What's a sound or noise that you hate?
And I know he's watching right now, but I hate it when my son just goes when we're riding in the car together.
Okay.
It's
Oh
when
man.
we're in the car
So no,
together,
no, none of that stuff. All right, guys.
not in the
Now
car.
you guys know if you wanna, you know, she doesn't like that noise. If you wanna, and stuff like that, will definitely irk her a little bit. Okay. What's your favorite curse word?
Um,
You can say it.
fuck.
I think that's most people's favorite curse word. We use it.
I say that
It's
a
it's
lot.
so you can
I,
use it in so many different ways. You know,
yeah, I
this
say it a
is
lot.
you can use it in so many ways. It could be insulting. It could be inspiring. It could be, excitement. It's such a great word.
Most people don't even know I swear, but yeah, drop f bombs like there's no tomorrow. I can't help it.
Hey, listen, I'm a New Yorker. I drop f bombs. Got. Everybody knows in chat and who is listening that I have a potty mouth. So absolutely. What profession? Okay, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Um, I would like to attempt to open and own a video game store.
So you want okay. I think a lot of gamers I think have that inspiration of, having their own.
But I want to have an arcade in it, and I want to let people rent a room with consoles and games and play.
We have something like that here where we have like a bunch of arcades. They rent out time, so you don't need
That's cool.
quarters or anything. And they have
Yeah,
they have a
I like
couple of
that.
consoles, but I mean, I'm not too keen on. I have my own console, so but the arcades are
Right.
kind of cool that you could go in and play some of the classic old arcades. So that's pretty cool. I think a lot of gamers really want to see more of that. I think we need more of that. I don't
Yeah,
really see many
I would
arcades
love to do
anymore.
something like that.
I don't see many arcades anymore in anywhere,
Me
and it's
either.
and it's kind of sad. And finally, the last question here: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
That I was a good mom.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, that's good. And so guys, I want to take some questions for if you guys have some questions in chat. All right, we are live again, guys. If you are watching, we are on TikTok, we are on Twitch, we are on Kick, we are on YouTube. So if you have any questions, I'm gonna take them. I see a lot of folks in the chat on TikTok. I see folks over on Twitch. Um, so let's take a look and see if there's anyone over on Kick. And if anybody has questions, mods, please let us. Send me the the info, and we'll the questions. Okay, so we are getting some questions over on TikTok as I expected, being one being TikTok here. So
Yeah.
let me see what we have here.
Mm.
Um, So let's see TikTok. All right, let's get some questions here. Okay. Um, do you have Legend of Zelda manga?
I don't, but my son has almost all of them.
Okay. So you don't, but your son has. And what is manga for those that don't know, like me? What is manga? I have no idea what manga is.
It's it's like a Japanese style art style books.
Okay.
Kind of like anime, but they're book form. They're the book form of anime. And you read them from back to front, just like any other Japanese novel. They're
Okay.
Japanese visual novels, pretty much.
Nice. So that question came from Unqualified Gamer. Thank you for your
Oh,
question. Welcome in Unqualified Gamer and everybody else who's watching on TikTok, Twitch, Kick, YouTube. We have another question coming from Lindsay, and Lindsay wants to know what's your favorite game to play as a family?
our favorite game to play as a family it has been Mario Super Mario 3D World.
Oh, I love that
And also, and this might surprise some people because it's an M-rated game, but we have been playing Diablo 3 as a family. But
game. Nice.
we've been skipping the cutscenes for my son, but we love playing Diablo 3 together.
Diablo 3. Nice. Thank you, Lindsay, for your question. I love Diablo 3. I played the hell out of Diablo 3. We got
I
another
love Diablo
question.
3. It's
We got another question from our very own Sebi G13. Wants to
uh-oh.
know what is your opinion of jerk chickens?
Jerk chickens? Like the
That's
food?
exactly. That's exactly. I'm not too sure. I'm guessing
Is
that's
he
a special kind of
because because
question.
I don't like jerks and I don't like the word chickens?
I think he was trying to make a pun there. You failed miserably, Sabby G. Stick to Kaizo, my friend. I love you, dude, but stick to Kaizo.
Yeah, I love you. I love you, Zoe, but I don't understand the question. Is he talking about like from Zelda where the chickens will attack you if you hit them?
It might be. It may be if that's if we can get some clarity there. But I'm guessing that's what I think he means. I
Okay.
mean, so yeah, yeah, they are jerks and they are chickens, and if you hit them, they're not very nice. And I think yeah, they're not very nice. I think we all know the answer. They are not nice chickens, Sebi. Uh,
Not nice.
okay, thank you, Sebi G, for that. Jenny wants to know, and Jenny wants to know if you
Oh,
had to pick between a pinball game or a racing game at any arcade.
pinball.
Pinball
Every time.
every
Pinball.
time.
Oh yeah.
And why is that?
I love me.
You just love pinball?
It's I just find it fun. It's fun. I'm awful at pinball. Like I am really, really bad at pinball, but I just find it so fun
It's so fun.
to flip the little flippers and try and get the multi balls and it's fun.
Nice, nice, nice. And Game On Jaquan wants to know when are you playing another Resident Evil game?
I knew he was gonna say that as soon as you said his name. I promise. I already promised him. I'm looking at playing the first Resident Evil game either this month or next. Like I'm getting there, I promise.
Nice, nice. Do you have one in mind?
The first Resident Evil game.
The first Resident Evil game. And what
Yep.
platform are you going to play it on?
Either the original PlayStation 1 version or I'm gonna play the GameCube remake. I
I
haven't decided
suggest
yet.
playing the GameCube remake. The GameCube remake
Okay.
is really good. I like it's just better
Okay.
visually, and the controls are a little better, in my opinion.
Okay.
Jaquan might not disagree with me, but he'll yell at me anyway. He's saying original then remake. Okay, you got to listen to
Okay.
Jaquan. He's the Resident
He's
Evil
the
guy. But we have
expert.
another Resident Evil guy in here. Okay, and thank you, Jaquan, for your question. We got Wolf. B Tribe Wolf Gaming wants to
Oh
know
yeah.
who would your personal choice be to play Link in the live action Zelda film? Great
Oh,
question.
that's a great question. And I don't know that I have an answer to that because I don't follow many modern day celebrities. Um so I actually have no idea.
Okay, so we're gonna have to think about that. We
Yeah,
did.
we'll
We
have
do
to think
have a
about that.
question from Twitch, Retro Gaming Inc., otherwise known as Team Yeet. Okay,
Oh,
do you enjoy any PC games?
oh yeah. Not any modern ones really, but I have played some games on PC. Like I played the original two Mass Effect games on PC.
Mm,
I played the first BioShock on PC, and I played Fallout 3 on PC.
okay.
So, I really like retro like PC games, like
Well,
old
then
ones.
I will talk to you about retro PC games. I have a ton of links that you would appreciate if you like old school PC games. I have
Yeah.
so many that I can recommend to you. Fumbles, who guys, Fumbles Retro Game Hunter will be our next guest next week. Okay, guys. So Fumbles will be our next guest here. Thank you, Fumbles, for joining us. Fumbles, what was Fumbles' question, guys? Fumble wants to know what is your favorite game you like which isn't Zelda?
My favorite game that's not Zelda
Yes,
is Mother 3.
Mother 3. I knew that because we talked about Mother 3 and how
Yeah,
awesome Mother 3 is.
it's so good.
Yeah. So
So
so that
good.
yeah. It's
You
I
guys need to
definitely got
play
to
it
play a
on
little bit more of
emulation,
it.
like, it's so good.
Yeah, I definitely got to play more of it. So guys, thank you Fumbles for that. Guys, Fumbles will be our guest next week, next Sunday at 1 p.m. So I hope you guys are here for that. That should be an interesting show as well. Thank you Fumbles for the question. I'm just gonna make sure that we have any more questions. Moderators, thank you so much for pinning the questions as well. Thank you guys over on Twitch. We have some people thanking you for sharing your story. You seem like such a nice person. Wishing you the
Aw.
best in life for you and your family. And that comes from Blue Bez. Thank you so much. You know, absolutely favorite song. So we have some comments in here. Favorite song that is from
Favorite.
Hawk Two, Potatoes, Hawk Potatoes. What's up, buddy? Long time no see. So yeah, we have some interesting, wonderful comments there. Mark says, "Have you ever played the puzzle game for PC called Seventh Guest?"
I have not, but I want to.
I know that game. It's a very popular
I have heard
game,
of that game, yes.
I haven't really sat down to play it, um, and stuff. Fumbles mentioned that he loved your Zelda wedding theme. Keep it singing
Oh,
and
thank you.
gaming. Do you plan on doing any singing comment on TikTok or anywhere else?
Uh, Not really.
Gonna just stick to gaming.
Gonna stick to gaming. I mean, I like singing, but I mean, I sing a lot of karaoke, you know. That's kind of more my thing now.
Nice.
I've entered in some contests, karaoke contests, and
Oh, very
I
cool.
just yeah, I like to sing. I sing in the car, I sing in the shower.
Nice.
My husband says I walk around the house and like dance around the house and sing when I'm happy. So,
Very cool. Very cool. So
yeah.
yeah, so that's awesome. Now, what do you plan? What's your next plans regarding your gaming content and content in general? Do you have any plans? Anything you want to share with us that you haven't shared with us regarding what anything new and exciting
Um
coming up?
n- Basically my biggest thing is what game Wednesday 100.
Hmm.
I have something big planned for that. Not just the episode itself, but I am giving away t-shirts. I'm planning on giving away 5 What Game Wednesday t-shirts to people. So,
Nice,
um
nice. Now, speaking of shirts, I'm glad you reminded me. The shirts are Mario and Luigi. Why not being a big Zelda Kirby fan that I know you are, what made you decide Mario and Luigi instead of like Zelda and and Link?
The first What Game Wednesday episode was Super Mario Brothers 2.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes
So
sense.
that game actually was the game that inspired me to start doing What Game Wednesday because of the Doki Doki Panic
Doki Doki
thing. I
Panic.
thought
Yeah,
that was a great game to start with, and I
that's
wrote out
awesome.
all the clues. I write out all the clues. I pick them that night, with the exception of like the big games.
Right, right,
I
right.
I come home and I'm like, okay, what game do I want to do? And I mull over it for a little bit.
Gotcha. What is your favorite karaoke song to sing? That comes from Unqualified Gamer again. So he wants to know because we talked about karaoke. What is your favorite karaoke song to sing?
It's a country song. It's called "If I Die Young" by the band Perry.
Never mind.
I'm not a big country music fan, but I like to sing country music.
Gotcha.
I also like singing the song "Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves" by Cher,
Okay, I know. I
and
know who Cher is.
I also love to sing Madonna and No Doubt.
Okay, nice,
So
nice, nice. So if let me just make sure if there are any more questions. We want Tanya wants to know who's your favorite singer.
my favorite singer. That's a good
That's a tough
question
question. I know. I mean,
because I like bands more than I
you
like
like
singers,
singers.
but probably Maynard James Keenan from Tool is my favorite singer.
Oh wow,
That that man has some
vocals.
pipes, like he can sing.
Nice.
Serge Tankian from System of a Down. Oh, Chris Cornell was another good one.
Chris Cornell. Okay.
I
Okay.
love.
Very nice, guys. Thank you so much for the questions. So now this is the part of the show. Okay. Well, we do have another one. Favorino doubt song. So I guess Jenny wants to know favorite doubt song.
Oh, favorite No Doubt song?
Yeah, I
Just
think
a
that's what she.
girl.
Just a girl. Just a
Yeah.
girl in the world.
I'm just a girl living in captivity. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So now what I like to do with this here is always give the guest, okay, guys, the opportunity to do a little role reversal where now it's her turn to be the host and my turn to answer some questions that she always wanted to know about yours truly, me. So feel free to ask me any questions you guys want. Chat, you guys are more than welcome to participate and anything that she wants to ask, feel free to do so. So take it away.
Okay, so my biggest question is because I know what your favorite game is, and I know like what your some of your favorite games are, and I know you're a big RPG guy. But what is your favorite non-RPG game?
That's a really good question. I go back to a lot of games. I love Goonies 2. I love Castlevania. You know, um, you know, God. It would have to be something like that. It would have to be like Castlevania, Goonies 2. Oh man. I mean, there's a lot of RPGs, like I mentioned. I love cat. I go back to the Castlevania games a lot. Um, I love Metroid. There's a lot. That's a really tough question. You know, there's a lot of them, but it would have to be like one of those because um, Rygar. I enjoyed Rygar because I started speedrunning that. So those games I really started enjoying and really like playing outside of RPGs.
Okay.
Thanks, appreciate that
Uh,
one.
yeah. My other question is how did you get into content creation yourself?
How did I get into content creation myself? Um, well, I started watching. I started playing games at a young age, and I got into content creation starting on Twitch. I started seeing people stream, and it was something that I thought, I could do and do it well, and build a community, and I started there because I really enjoyed watching other people play games that I really enjoyed. And for me, it was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, why not? So I started doing that, and then of course with TikTok with the pandemic, we had not much going on. You know, we couldn't really do much, so that's when I started creating even more content. I did Instagram. I started doing content on Instagram, gaming content, and then in 2020, at the height of the pandemic, I started really going hard on TikTok. So it was definitely watching other people do it that got me interested in doing it.
Yep. Same for me. Like I said earlier. Yeah. Yep.
Unqualified gamer, you want to know what my favorite gaming console is? What's my first game console? Oh God, I don't remember. I don't remember. It's probably. Oh jeez. I did have. I did own Atari, but I mean the earliest memories I have are probably the NES. The NES is probably the earliest memories I have. You know, what's your favorite Star Wars character? Darth Vader. I created a whole. I created a whole Twitch layout. It was called, I was Centauro TV, and I had, it was all based on Darth Vader. I did a whole Darth Vader theme, Darth Vader
Awesome.
everything. I had Darth Vader emotes, and yeah, Darth Vader is definitely my favorite Star Wars character.
What Star Wars movie is your favorite?
What's Empire Strikes Back? I mean, I
Okay.
think I
Yeah.
think that's I think that's a lot of people's favorite because we find out what that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad, and
Yeah.
that iconic scene that gets misquoted every time, because people say, "No, Luke, I am your father." He never actually mentions Luke. It's, "No, I am your father." So a lot
Yeah.
it gets misquoted a lot, and it's just that
Yeah. I know that.
there is no spoiler after 900 years. If you don't know that, then it's your own fault. Game on Jaquan wants to know, say if I visit New York, what's the first place you recommend I visit? Well, I know everybody's going to say go visit the Nintendo World. Okay, I know everybody's going to say go visit Nintendo World, go visit Nintendo World, go visit Nintendo World.
I visited
I'm
there.
not going to recommend Nintendo World. Okay, I'm not going to recommend Nintendo World because I know people are going to. I'm a big food guy. I love desserts. I'm gonna go tell you to go to Brooklyn, go to Villabate, and get yourself some cannolis, some Italian cheesecake, some coffee. I'm gonna tell you to get some Italian ice cream. I'm gonna tell you to get food, food. Okay, good food and good. Starting
I
with desserts. We got to go start with desserts. Then you could go to the Nintendo World Store. That's how we got to do it.
I
Okay, that's
visited
how
New York
that's how it gets
twice,
done. That's how it gets
and
done.
the food in New York is unlike any other place I've ever been to. It's so good.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So there you
So
go.
good.
So guys, this is coming to the end of the show here. I want to thank Satur9 for being here. I want to thank everybody for joining. Okay, look for the VOD if you guys missed it. If anybody had to go, okay, guys, we will be uploading this episode to Spotify. This is our first episode of what game. Hello, Retro and Real. I'm thinking What Game Wednesday because I'm so excited for the 90th and 100th episode. But yes, guys, this is the first episode of Retro and Real. I want to thank everybody for coming out and participating in asking the questions, and I want to thank Saturn9 for joining us. It was my pleasure having you on as my first guest on the Retro and Real podcast. I want to thank you for sharing your real life experiences, talking about some of your favorite games, and Zelda, Kirby. Um, where can people find you? So please take this moment to plug yourself. Let people know where to find you, and your socials, where and stuff like that. Where can people contact you if they wanted to, and stuff like that? Please let everybody know.
So I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on Instagram as Saturn9 Gaming. I'm on Twitch as Saturn9 Sweetness, but you can't find me because I have never streamed. But that I'm hoping that'll change in the future. But right now you can find me, and you can find me on Discord as well. Saturn9 Sweetness on Discord. So pretty much anywhere where you can find somebody, I'm there.
Nice, nice. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone. This for and again, thank you for joining me.
Yes, of
I
course.
hope you had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I think a
I
lot of
enjoyed it.
people found out a lot about you. And remember, guys, we are 1-0. That pineapple on pizza is good. Okay, so if you're keeping score, guys, all right, don't forget pineapple on pizza is delicious. Okay, and nutritious. And the toilet paper, we always put it on the outside. We
It's
never
a
put it on
beard.
the
It's
inside.
a beard.
Okay, so all right, that's where we are, guys. We'll find out with Fumbles next week if he agrees that pineapple belongs on pizza or not. Stay tuned next week, 1 p.m. Eastern, for our next guest Fumbles. Um, who would you like to see Saturn9 as a guest on the Retro and Real podcast?
Well, I'd love to see my good friend Game on Jaquan as a guest.
Game on
Um,
Jaquan, you heard that. She would love to see what you got to
yeah,
say,
I
buddy.
I I nominate him. I think he would be excellent to have on the show. He's just such a nice guy, he's become such a good friend. Um, so I would just love to see.
So game on Jay says, "Oh no, guys, that concludes." Seraph, what's up, buddy? Every Sunday at this time. No, Seraph. This is gonna be sporadic. I will be announcing when these go on. If you follow my socials, it's Mikey Loves Retro everywhere. I'm on at Twitter, Instagram. Blue Sky. It's Mikey Loves Retro everywhere. I do announce when these shows will be happening. I will be reaching out to other guests besides TikTokers. We will try to be getting some Twitch streamers on here. We'll be trying to get some YouTube guests on here. Okay, but for next week, our guest will be Fumbles. Okay, at 1 p.m. Eastern, he will be our guest. If anyone would like to be a part of the show, please contact me either through any of my social medias, and we can set something up and have you as a guest. Saturday, thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon or evening with us. Okay, hope to see more What Game Wednesday, guys. Thank you in the chat. Thank you, people who are listening. Stay tuned for next week for episode 2 of Retro and Real. Thank you, everybody. Take care and have a good rest of your Sunday.